Hi there, E.A. Tischler here with New Horizons Golf. Today I want to talk to you about golfers that have a tendency to get the pull. They feel like they're actually making pretty good golf swings, they're releasing it really well, but they really get smashing pulls. And no matter what they try, they try to get more turn and depth in the backswing, so they feel like they're deep enough in the backswing that they can actually get it to come down from the inside, but for whatever reason they still get lots of pulls. And there's a couple of reasons for this. Some people will actually, even though they're turning deep in the backswing, they'll actually start tilting towards the target too much. And for those golfers, when they do that, they start turning from the top and they get that club outside really quick. It's mainly because they don't have enough secondary tilt to keep that club coming from the inside. If we get set up, and as we turn deep, if we make sure our chest is actually staying more to the right side of center, more sort of inside my right foot, now I actually have secondary tilt with my posture leaning this way a little bit. I can actually come more in from the inside. Now remember, not all golfers have this tendency, so I'm just talking about the golfers that actually have the tendency for the early turn pulls. Now, a lot of golfers will find that they actually get set up good, they actually have primary tilt, secondary tilt, they make a good turn from the top, they feel like they're going to start down from the inside, but they still have this tendency to get the upper body turning a little bit earlier than it should be, and they still get smashing pulls. Again, they feel like they've made pretty good swings, but when they look up, it's just a pull draw and it's not going at their target. So one of the things that I think is sort of left out in the game is understanding the sense of separation from one component to the next in the body. So, as we go into the backswing, like Jack Nicklaus used to describe the backswing as club head, hands, arms, shoulders, hips, knees, and then feet. So there was sort of this chain of events, this linkage going on in the backswing. Again, club head, hands, shoulders pull the hips, hips pull the knees pull the foot. Then in the downswing, there was this sort of change of sequence. Foot, knee, hips, shoulders, arms, hands, club head. But understanding how you get that sequence in alignment and how you stretch it out is one of the things that can really help golfers that are making really good solid pull or swings. They're really smashing it, but they're getting solid pulls instead of starting them at their target. So one of the big things I look for in this sequence is, once we get the swing started, do I get enough separation between my left shoulder and my left hip? At the top of the backswing, I'm going to make sure that I feel like I've created a bigger gap or a bigger stretch between my left shoulder and my left hip. Some people feel it left knee to left shoulder, some people feel it left foot to left shoulder, but do I actually have enough separation in stretching those components of the left side up to the top of the backswing? So that's the first thing that we'd be looking for there. Do I get that separation? Do I stretch it up to the top of the backswing? So I had a good stretch in that one. Now the next thing is once I feel like I've got the sense of knee, hip, shoulder, all that stretch to the left side of my body and I have good separation, do I actually get the club feel like it's stretched back through my shoulders? Does it go more this way or does it get laid off? What's happening as I go to the top of the backswing with the arms, hands, and the club head? So again, feel that where that left foot and knee are, create that separation with that left shoulder. But also there's sort of this plane or this path that I'm stretching that club back on. And if I don't get it stretched properly, then it feels like when I make the transition, I'm either going to drop down too much inside or I'm going to get too much outside coming down. So the last thing I'm looking for is, do I get the arms, hands, and club stretched back properly? My feel is that it's actually going through my right shoulder, then my left shoulder. It almost feels like it's pointing at the target. I can actually see the club head out of my left eye when I do it properly. But that's that feel that I'm looking for. Do I get the separation stretched up to my left side? Then do I get enough stretch up through my right shoulder with arms, hands, and club that I feel like when I reverse directions, it's going to reverse in order, just like Jack Nicklaus said, from the foot to the knee to the hip to the shoulder to the arms to the hands to the club head. Okay, let's see if we get stretched out, get everything feel like it's stretched out but also lined up. And from there, we just unwind and see what happens. Okay, one thing you're going to notice as you start getting that separation between the left shoulder, the left hip, the left foot, feeling that stretch up your left side, and then you get that club really stretched behind you, feeling like you really have it stretched, but everything's in alignment. Those pulls that you're going to get are going to start turning into solid pushes, and that's just sort of the natural tendency when you first make that adjustment. Once you feel like you really got it stretched out and you got that natural push going on, then what we want to do is make sure that we go ahead and we release it. You'll start feeling like you can release it harder and harder and harder from that stretched out position, and the ball will just go a lot straighter. Now, that was a really good stretched out swing. You know, it actually turned into a power fade. It was a nice swing, had a little bit of fade on it, but I could release it even harder if I want this to go through the target. Okay, one more here. I'm going to go ahead and stretch this out fully, but I also want to go ahead and release it fully.
To the right. No, straight to the middle. To the left. Left.
Okay, now that shot was stretched out fully, but it was also released fully. That was on a rope. I'll take that all day long. So if you're one of those players that gets really solid pulls and you have a hard time, you feel like it's a little over the top motion with your shoulders, or you just feel like it's an early turn and you're really smashing that release, go ahead and try to get a little bit more separation between your left shoulder, your left foot, or your left shoulder, your left knee, your left shoulder, your left hip, whatever it feels like to you. Get a good stretch through that left side, then get the arms, hands, and club, stretching that club back further. From there, you want to do it in a way that it feels all lined up. All you got to do from here is unwind and release it as fully as you can to a nice balanced finish.